Hey everybody! So I wanted to jump in here today and say hi. It's been a minute since I shot a video, but I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I just heard that's going on for designers who are working to build their businesses. And I was in another design group and I heard a really lively discussion about renderings. There were people who were stressing out, trying to figure out what was the right software, how do they use it, how do they learn how to do it, and all of those different things. And so what I wanted to do is just share with you my perspective on renderings, how we've been able to use them pretty effectively in our design structure, and that might be of some benefit to you. So the first thing I want to say is I do think renderings are necessary. I do think that when you're creating a really professional presentation, and you're asking people to pay you, thousands of dollars to design their spaces, I think you should be able to do things and produce things that they can't. Meaning, if you and a client can both produce a mood board, then what kind of impact are you really having with that mood board? It's you want to create, a feeling of luxury, a feeling of wow, a feeling of I can't do this. I'm not able to produce this from the client perspective, and that's why they're paying you because you can. So if you guys are producing something that's on the same level, that sort of cheapens what you're trying to do. So I do think renderings are necessary. So that's the first piece. The second piece is it's more important to figure out what software program you want and then get really good at that software program. So there's tons of programs that you can pick from. We personally have landed on Chief Architect. I love it. It does what we need it to do for our clients, and it's as simple as that. And so instead of trying to figure out SketchUp and all of these other different programs, we landed on one. We worked really hard to get good at it, and that's the one we use over and over again. And so I would say instead of trying to dabble and try and figure out two or three that you like, land on one and then just become an expert in that one so that you can consistently produce the kind of results that you want for your clients. It doesn't have to be Chief Architect. Obviously, it'll be whatever one works for you. But just land on one and then get really good at that one instead of trying to dabble between two or three. The other perspective I would say that I have on renderings that I don't know that everybody thinks about is I hear people talking about the software is limited. I can't do this and I can't do that. And I want my renderings to look really realistic, which is fine. At the end of the day, though, your renderings, unless you're doing e-design, your renderings are not your final outcome. Your final outcome is the space that you're producing for the client. With that in mind, your renderings are just a tool. They're a tool so that you're creating a visual for them. You're getting them to buy into your vision. So as long as they understand what the general vision is most clients are fine with that. So for our renderings, we don't even put in accessories anymore. We put in the major pieces. We might put in, a throw pillow or two. But other than that, we keep it really simple. And what that does, number one, that allows me the freedom when I'm shopping to go and get those finishing touches that I want without trying to match them up to the client expectation. And number two, it allows the clients, the buy-in so that they can be excited about what's going to be produced for them. But also, too, it allows them to understand what is going on in your head. And it allows you to see it, too. So what that does when you're in your overall design process is when the client sees the rendering, they're getting a visual, and then usually there's less pushback. So if you're trying to show them a piece of fabric or a tile or a chair, and it's not in the context of a space and they don't understand it because they can't see what's inside your head, you are much more liable to get pushback. Whereas if you have a rendering and you can show them the picture and you can show them something, a visual, where they see it in context, then they say, oh, okay, I didn't understand what you were talking about. But now that I see it in the space, now that I see what you're proposing, it makes sense and let's move forward. So again, you're using it as a tool to get to the final outcome. So having it look so realistic matters less than just the client understanding and being able to buy in. And like I said, allow for that anticipation, allow for that understanding. The other thing that it does is it's really nice for contractors because we give our contractors rendering so that when they come in and we're creating that scope of work for them, they then understand what the outcome is too, so that we're all on the same page. So I would say that's pretty much it in terms of my perspective on renderings. So number one, I think they're important. Number two, they should be used only as a tool to create that vision, to build anticipation, and to build understanding between you and the client. And then again, as a bonus, you can share them with your contractor so that everybody's on the same page moving forward. So I hope that helps anybody who's thinking about renderings. Again, don't dabble between 2 and 3. I would say just figure out one that you like, figure out one that's going to meet your needs, and then learn and get really good at that, and then use that to your advantage. So I hope that helps. I will see you all in the next video.